G'day viewers, this is Troy from Troy's Digital Arts channel. I've recently started dabbling in shooting 16mm movie film. Yeah, I've shot plenty of Super 8s and double 8mm films and the like, and yeah, I thought I'd branch out into 16mm, and so yeah, I bought this Bell Howell 16mm camera off eBay. It went reasonably cheap. I think I paid probably $30 something for it. Not too bad a price. It actually didn't come with a lens, but fortunately I had actually on one of my Vidicon video cameras one of these cine lenses. It's a 2-kern Pallard lens, and yeah, I looked it up and it's actually made for 16mm cameras. It's a screw mount and C-mount lens, and yeah, C-mount lenses are compatible with both movie cameras like this and Vidicon tube TV cameras. Anyway, yeah, this is quite a neat little camera and quite compact in setup, and yeah, also quite simple too. It's pretty much, yeah, quite a basic camera. You got your features such as frame rate control, which you can shoot at 16, 24, 32, 48, or even 64 frames. And it's pretty much a mechanical wind camera. You pretty much wind it mechanically. And you pull this lever here to... Oh, I was not doing nothing. Probably because the cartridge is open. Anyway, and it works quite nicely. So, yeah, it unwinds like so, and you just have to keep cranking it up again. Anyway, yeah, it takes a 16mm cartridge film. So you just, you actually need, it's actually got two levers. You just got to press in like so and open it up. And yeah, I actually happen to have a few old Kodachrome cartridges for usage, and yeah, I've shot my first 16mm film. Before I get to that, just a little bit about this camera. This camera was made sometime in the 1950s. Looking it up, I think it's a model 200, I'm not sure. Anyway, it's about that vintage anyhow, and yeah, a little bit more about it. So yeah, that's the shutter release. That's your winding crank, and you've got your small viewfinder there, which you look through and take your shots. And you also got to count for parallax because it's not through the lens viewfinder. Anyway, now getting to me film. Yeah, I've got 3 of these 1970s Kodak Kodachrome II cartridges. I think 2 of them expired 1974 and 1 expired 1972. Anyway, this one I shot is expired March 1974. Its original ASA rating was 40 ASA. I decided to rate it at 2 ISO for my shots, and yeah, I shot it at 16 frames a second, and I had the aperture open to about an f2.8, I think, when in sunny weather when I was doing my shots. And yeah, I processed the film in Caffenol CM. I processed it at, I used the 20 degrees 3 minutes rule with my processing Kodachrome II, as Kodachrome II is a quick developing film. I actually developed it at 22 degrees. I couldn't cool the developer down far enough, so I developed at 22 degrees for about 2.5 minutes. Anyway, here's the end result. The film worked beautifully. And I got very nice negative frames. So as you can see the frames looking through it. So I don't know if I can get an improved image by going over this like so. It's a bit too light. Probably best just looking through to the paper really. But yeah, you can see the frames pretty much. As a matter of fact, oh dear, something fell off. Matter of fact, I'm going to take this bit of paper off and stick it through so you can actually see the frames. So yeah, this film worked very well, and my calculated ISO guess was pretty well near spot on. Yeah, it's hanging on the rack. It's a bit hard to try and... I'm actually trying to do 3 things with just 2 hands, and one hand is occupied by my phone cam. So yeah, anyway, so yeah, as you can see, it's made very nice frames, and this film's going to look very good when I get it digitally scanned and digitized to digital video in HD quality. I'm going to have to actually rearrange these films on the racks. They're kind of sticking together, and that's not a good thing. So yeah, just got to unstick them from each other. That's one of the perils of drying motion picture film on a rack. They have a tendency to just touch each other and stick to one another, and sometimes it can actually ruin the emulsion and the exposures in those areas of the film. Anyway, the film tank that I developed it in is just sitting outside. It's a Super 8 tank. Generally you develop Super 8 film, but you can stick this upside down and develop 16mm film. So it's pretty much dual compatible for Super 8 and 16mm. And also you can do double 8mm and standard 8mm as well. So yeah, it's pretty much a new area I'm branching out in, 16mm film. And I'm actually very pleased that my first cartridge worked quite nicely, and I got good pictures, and yeah, I'm going to be shooting more 16mm films over time, and of course we'll buy some more off eBay. Another thing to mention too is you can actually, with old 16mm cartridges, you can actually load fresh 16mm stock inside these old cartridges. There's a number of videos on the internet. I will actually place a link in the description below to one of the really good videos that a cinematographer demonstrates how you load fresh 16mm film inside these old 16mm cartridges. I'm actually while I'm speaking, I'm just undoing the film cartridge to show you how it looks on the inside. So just get this screw off and give you a bit of a squiz. Also got to take the protective tape off. So here's what the 16mm cartridge looks like on the inside, and yeah, I'm going to learn off that guy's video on how to load 16mm films inside of this, because I've got rolls of Kodachrome film from the 60s that I'd love to shoot and process. And I also like to put some 8mm film inside and shoot it as a 16mm, because 8mm is actually compatible to shoot in a 16mm camera as well. The only thing is it's just got twice as many sprocket holes. But that's okay. But that's pretty much a-okay from what I've read up. Anyway, the actual threading of the 16mm film is actually quite complex, as you'll see in that guy's video. I can't explain it offhand, but I think it's pretty much, it's like you loop it around a number of and then you loop back, and yeah, I can't explain it in words, and I can't even remember how it's actually threaded all up, but that guy's video will pretty much explain it all in depth. So yep, if you want to learn how to load a 16mm cartridge, watch his video. But anyway, it's a pretty cool, neat setup. It's actually arranged so you can shoot the film and it won't go backwards, because it's sprocketed so that it goes forward only and not backwards. Anyway, yeah. So that's pretty much about it. This is my first experience with 16mm motion picture film, and I'll be shooting plenty more of this stuff. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed my video. This is Troy from Troy's Visual Arts channel, signing out.